Oh man, what are we doing today?
Well, we're going to take a survey of the lake, and we have our experts out this morning, and we're going to hopefully put together on a video to be able to show the rest of our neighbors what's happening around the lake.
Right, right. And we've got our biochemist here, Mr. Kurt Kress.
My name is Kurt Kress. I'm with Marine Biochemists.
All right, and also we've got other members of the lake committee here.
Alex Chavez.
All right, and we're going to do a little walk around the lake and just kind of update people with what's going on here. So,
And who's speaking?
well, this behind the camera is Charles Barnes. I'm on the lake committee too. So, hello everyone. Matter of fact, here I am. Hey. Okay. All righty. And here's my son Cameron. Hey. Okay. So, hey, Kurt, the other day we're talking about this drainage over here, this pipe. It just kind of leads out to the lake, right? And you kind of said that's a no-no, right?
Well, basically, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we try and divert all water runoff into the lake, because there's a couple of reasons. First is the nutrients that go into the lake.
Right.
These nutrients are like phosphates and nitrates, some of the fertilizers that the landscapers put on. But when that gets into the lake, it fuels the algae and the pondweed and planktonic algae and can turn your lake green. So we want to keep all runoff away from the lake. Plus, it also introduces sedimentation. All this dirt and stuff will settle onto the bottom, and the more sedimentation that you get, the less volume of water that you're going to have in your lake. And it also puts a barrier down so fish can't get to some of the rocks that are down at the bottom, so they can build their nests, because they like to get all that sedimentation out, because the egg needs to be surrounded in water, because that's where the oxygen transfer is. So they need to get that egg onto a hard substrate down at the bottom. But with all this soft sediment that you have in here, that doesn't happen, and you get less reproduction from the bass and the bluegill. Plus the bacteria need air throughout there to help decompose some of the material. So a main concern here is that of all this excess water that is going into the lake, and you can see that the landscape here is very, very moist, squishy, and this is a great idea to get the water from that, but my thought is why have this in the first place? Is it a broken line? Is it over irrigation? This seems to be, a band-aid to a problem that the landscapers need to be conscious of, is that we need to make sure that this puddling doesn't happen. Now, it could have been from rain or something like this, and this could be a low area, and I understand that. But again, this was before we started getting into the rainy season.
Okay.
And we need to address this area and find out what actually is going on here,
okay,
so we can reduce the amount of water that's getting into the lake.
Now, is one of the solutions maybe to tie into one of the drains? Like I see a drain over here, like right behind you, right?
Yes, but I think that these drains around here, if I'm not mistaken, go right into the lake.
Okay.
They don't go underneath the
just like the other drain, the one that's just a little bit up, right? Same thing.
Now,
you think it's draining to the lake?
And that could be another problem. You need to make sure that those drains are operating properly.
Okay. What do you think the solution is for that?
Well, I think first we need to address the irrigation system to make sure that that's operating properly.
Okay.
Second is the time that these irrigation is on. The irrigation to run properly so we get minimal runoff into the lake is putting it on multiple start times. So if the grass requires, say, 10 minutes of watering, you want to put possibly 2 5 minutes
okay,
of timer on there, and see if that is enough, that it's enough for the grass, but it's still not getting some of the runoff in the lake. It may be that it has to go on in 2-minute increments.
Okay.
So
yeah, I've noticed, like, even during the summertime, there's like puddling around the lake.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like 90 degrees and still puddling. And during the summertime, I know that's like, just a place for like mosquitoes just to.
Exactly. Mosquitoes and midge.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a problem with midge fly around the lake during the summertime, and when there's about 3,000 different species of midge.
Mm-hmm.
Some are strictly breed in the lake, but some breed in the landscape.
Okay.
And they love moist landscape. So this is another way that we can reduce the amount of midge that bothers the residents.
Okay.
Is by making sure that the landscape isn't overwatered.
Okay.
Plus, it may be, and I've done some landscaping. This may be needed to be aerated.
Right.
And get air back into the soil.
Okay. Now I notice we've got a lot of fertilizer in the neighborhood too. I mean, I'm just kind of like looking at the ground here, and there's like feces all around the lake. And as homeowners, it's our responsibility to clean up after our dogs. And I think that's just for people that want to enjoy the lake and the scenery and all that kind of stuff. Please clean up after your dogs. Have you noticed that quite a bit too, Jerry?
Yeah.
Just people just not cleaning.
We have a lot of neighbors that will actually clean up behind their dogs. They say
That's
that
true.
On a consistent basis, but we do have a few neighbors who just let their dog poop, and that's a problem.
Yeah, the regulars I think that walk their dogs, they're careful to keep their dogs on the leash. Number one, and then number two, they always clean up after them. And then there's a few people, that just I guess they're just not clean up after their dogs. Sometimes I'm sure dogs just get out or whatever. Have you noticed any of that too, Alex?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's continue our walk around the lake here. And actually, Jason just showed up, so Jason's also on the committee here. So let's roll. Hey, Kurt. What about our grass here?
Well, what you have right here is called kikuya, and kikuya is very much like St. Augustine.
Mm-hmm.
It's got runners, and it also goes dormant in the winter time. This is a grass that's very hard to control. It's very hard to get rid of, and once it gets established, it tends to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when, like, I'm assuming that this was originally tall fescue in here,
Mm-hmm.
and this just tends to dominate, and it can actually grow on top of itself. So when the mower comes through and it takes the first layer off, all you have below it is nothing but roots.
Right, and this is basically just wild grass, and it's kind of like kind of unsightly too, huh?
Yeah, I think the association needs to look at this and come up with something with their landscaper to see if we can't get tall fescue or some other type of grass to get reestablished in these areas, and look to see if this soil in here needs some type of aeration and possibly renovation.
Okay. I got Jason. Jason, this light here is right in front of your house. What's your address here, Jason?
118 Lakeside.
118 Lakeside Drive. Okay. And so I know this light, and I think that light over there too.
I think this one and this one on
Right.
this side been out for, I don't know, I'd say approximately a year just about.
Okay.
It looks like there was someone out here that put the pink tab or the pink ribbon around it. So
Right.
I think they may know about it.
Okay.
Just maybe it's a matter of having the electrician or
They were
whatever
here yesterday.
company follow through.
Oh, they did come out yesterday?
No, they came out to the clubhouse. I don't know if they made it over here, but they were
Oh, okay.
yesterday.
Okay. I know there's a couple lights out over at the clubhouse as well. Just kind of like the step light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone has put an official requisite in for it to be, replaced or fixed. I mean, it's probably something we could do, obviously, if it
Right.
hasn't gotten done.
Now we did send something in last year about this, and I did see him come out last year, but we need to just follow up on that. So just a note on that. So.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? It could be a number of things. Perhaps maybe there's a certain fixture, light bulb that, I don't know, it's just not made anymore or something like that, or wiring, who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, we just got to get it going again. Okay.